more stuff you have, the more stress you have. There's no doubt about that. I think about, at this point in my life, wants and needs, and I think about anytime I'm getting ready to purchase something, how much stress is going to be involved in that purchase. I don't just think about the cost financially. I think about that, but I also think about the stress that it's going to add to my life, and it makes me evaluate how much do I really need it. Because I believe that most things people have, 90% of what most people own in a first world country, they don't need, they want. And there's nothing wrong with wants, but as I've gotten older, I don't want unnecessary stress. Therefore, every time I look to buy something, whether a car, a house, a RV, whatever, even clothing, anything, I say to myself, how much am I going to use this on a day in, day out basis? And how much stress is it going to add to my life? How much maintenance, how much insurance, how much upkeep is involved? There's not really much that I need. I've lived out of my car for 5 years with one bag of clothes, no storage unit, and I've been fine. Now, to be fair, if you get sick or you're elderly, you know, you could use a home base. You could use a bigger car, a RV, you know, but even right now, having a house is a want, not a need. I haven't needed a house for 5 years. Having an RV is a want, not a need. Now, life is not static, and anytime your life can change, so living in a car may not be all that you need. And that's why I tell the very poor and the very elderly, if you decide to sell everything and live in your vehicle, you better have an exit strategy. You better have enough money to get off the road, because life can change quick. But that being said, the reason I'm so hesitant to buy anything now is I don't want to buy into unnecessary stress. Because even though I have some stress in not having a lot of amenities, I still feel it's a net reward by not having all that maintenance, upkeep, and liability. At some point, I hit the fork in the road. I got to bite the bullet. A new vehicle I have to buy. I'm over 215,000 miles on this. I'll come a day where I buy a home base. But so slow to buy. Be so slow to buy. Because every time you buy something, you're not just getting a potential asset. You're not just getting a potential toy. You're getting a potential stress point. And things are just like relationships. Once you get involved in a relationship, it's hard to get out. Once you acquire something, it's hard to throw it out. And if you don't believe me, look how big of a business storage units are. It's hard to get rid of things emotionally, I want to tell you. And so, be slow to buy, slow to acquire. Why? Because stuff adds stress, man. There's no way around it. I've tried to figure out ways around certain things, and there's no way around the simple fact that, in simple terms, everything you buy is going to come with some stress. Now, some things that you buy are going to add some value to your life. Comfort is value. Security is value. You don't want to buy a cheap property or a cheap car if it's a death trap. You know, you won't want to buy a car that is basically has no brakes. I mean, guys, you want to be free, you want to not have safety and security. Well, drive a car with no brakes. You're living free. Guys, be careful. Okay. I mean, I've been thinking about that. I checked myself with a home base. I said, Sam, I can get a cheaper house here. It's not in a bad neighborhood. But is the neighborhood as secure as a gated community? That matters. Does it have a guard? Is it on an island? Is it in the middle of the country? Is it in the middle of the city? Look, everything matters. And stress matters. Because you can buy, and you got to think about the back end cost. You can buy something cheap, but long term that may come to bite you in the ass and cause more stress. Be careful. Life is not simple, but in simple terms, more stuff is more stress. So be very intentional, very intentional, very intentional about what you acquire. How much will you use it in your daily lifestyle, in your daily routine? And what are your patterns? Don't go buying a canoe if you've never canoed. Don't go buying a jet ski if you live somewhere where 8 months out of the year it's winter. How much are you going to use it? How much to maintain it? How much aggravation to upkeep it? Never forget these things. Because somewhere there's someone that has a jet ski, a boat, and they can't use it most of the year. And it stresses. It's stress. You'd be better off renting it. Somewhere there's someone with a Class B RV with a canoe in the back, and they're parking at a truck stop that's dangerous. They got a Sprinter van, they're parking in a dangerous place, and they're not going canoeing, they're going to get ice from the gas. It's like, be careful. Things are very seductive. But remember, after you get seduced, the fun ends. No one respects someone after you've been seduced. After the salesman seduces you, he's no longer your friend or her. After the person seduces you, you may not like them. Why? Because now you got the stress of dealing with them. So remember, stuff seduces you. Oh yeah. You see that machete? You think you're going to go boondocking? You don't need a machete. You need good mental health. You need to be able to adapt. You see that canoe? You don't need a canoe. You need a cane. You can barely walk with your bad hip. Buy a cane, not a canoe. How many Dollar Tree glasses do you have? You don't need 20. Everything adds more stress. And if something breaks, throw it out. If something breaks, throw it out. A lot of people keep broken stuff because they just can't let it go. Let it go. This is the message in this video. Tore it up by the grace of God through hard work, showed up. Click that thumbs up. You want to support the channel? Click that blue join button. Let's go. Share the video. Leave a comment below. Watch my thousands of free videos. And remember, stuff seduces you. And once you're seduced, then you're just stressed. Very powerful lesson there.